Welcome everybody. If you're coming fresh off the Whimsicott video, here's the reason why its type was changed. They're not both grass fairy types, but before I get into the nitty-gritty of the really cool and really strong buffs and changes here for Lilligant, I can have a quick little disclaimer for anybody who's new here and just happens to be clicking on this video. Welcome if you saw me on your, recommended or all that, or somebody just showed you my channel, all that fun stuff. Definitely make sure you check out the description below because I have a link to the very same Google Sheet that I screen share in all of these videos, and you can examine all of the very in-depth and very detailed buffs and changes for every single Pokemon evolutionary line in the description on that Google Sheet. And most importantly, on the tabs here, you have a bunch of useful tabs: speed tier, abilities, all this fun stuff, type chart, all that crap. But most importantly, you have this one that says search all moves here. If you look here on the screen, you can see I organized them into a lot of different categories. I organized them all by type, also just by like category, because there's tons of new move buffs and changes. Basically, there's 130 plus custom new moves, and then every other move is buffed or changed to be, its own unique thing. But there's tons of new priority moves and all this other important stuff. So definitely give those a look. But yeah, sorry, I explained that a little bit too much this time. I'm sure most of you guys who are watching this already know all that stuff. Hopefully you've already checked it out, or continue to slowly check them out. There's a lot of them, so I don't expect somebody to just memorize them all in 5 seconds. And also, somebody once asked me, I want to clarify, yes, the in-game move descriptions are updated as well. I'm not crazy. I'm not going to make people just memorize shit like that. They are updated, and they are also, they put in all the percentages and other effects of the moves. You don't have to just guess. But yeah, likewise, we have Lilligant. Awesome buffs and changes here. 2 really useful abilities. Nothing like the abilities are not insane, but they are very good, and they are a lot better than they might appear at first glance. And the stats are solid. With the typing and the move pool. Most importantly, Lilligant's biggest issue was the move pool. We all know how garbage its coverage was. Now it has all kinds of stuff. It has Aura Sphere since it's a fairy type. It has Psychic, Shadow Ball, because other fucking grass types get that shit anyways, let alone fairy types. And then Earth Power, most grass types, if not all grass types, have that in this hack. Signal Beam, you've got all you need, okay? Weather Ball in the Sun, Earth Power, Aura Sphere, Psychic, Shadow Ball, Signal Beam, Nature Power under Electric Terrain becomes Thunderbolt. Electric Terrain is a lot more widespread now as a, as an ability or as a move, because it's a TM. And then you can also get Psychic, which is useless because you already have Psychic TM. But yeah, Nature Power is just for Thunderbolt then, or for earlier Energy Ball, I guess, for Olivia or something, because Nature Power's TM is significantly earlier than Energy Ball. So yeah, either way, Lilligant, awesome buffs. Stat-wise, nothing too crazy, actually. It's a lot bulkier, 70, 80, 105. It has a nice speed-up stat. It has great utility moves, like Strength Stat especially, as well as all kinds of other really fun stuff like Charm, Befriend, and Sweet Scent. And you can check out what all these moves do in the description below. But most importantly, I want to highlight Strength Stat there. That definitely accentuates its defensive utility. And then it has a really nice speed tier of 95. Not like super fast. That's like decently fast in this ROM hack because there is a very detailed speed tier guide. You can check out where all the Pokemon stack up. But of course, you have to consider that Lilligant has tons of ways to boost its speed. Not to mention, you can always just slap on a Choice Scarf. But one of the major ways it has to boost its speed is Solar Rush, which is obviously just Chlorophyll. I hope that's self-explanatory. That's only changed, so I can give it to Fire types and other Pokemon. But yeah, so for Lilligant, with 0 speed investment, you are still outspeeding everything in the hack for the most part after the sun is put up. So you can run max HP, max special attack, and go to town in the sun with boosted Weather Ball, as well as your dual stab. So yeah, Solar Rush is great, and you have Growth, of course, which gives you +2, and you can go to town. That's just very, very, very straightforward. Solar Beam, very powerful move. Very, 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 very straightforward as to how that functions. But that is buffed in the regard that not only do about 10-ish Pokemon are going to end up having Drought, roughly 10-ish Pokemon have all of those abilities. The Heat Rock in general is buffed, so it's very easy for Pokemon like your teammates to set up Sunny Day. With the Heat Rock, you now get 6 turns as opposed to 3, so you have 10 full turns after the first turn of setting up Sunny Day. And then you can Parting Shot or U-Turn or Volt Switch, which most Pokemon get one of those 3 moves now. Almost every Pokemon gets one of those 3 moves. There's like none that get neither. Roughly. Of course, there's always going to be a couple exceptions, but you can also use a Eject button, which is not infinite use. But most importantly, you have that Heat Rock plus that Sunny Day. You switch into your Lilligant, and then you have 9 full turns of Sun to abuse, which is plenty, as opposed to the 6 that you would normally have at that point, I believe. So yeah, that's super nice. Okay. But yeah, that's Solar Rush for you. Very, very self-explanatory, very, very logically fitting ability, obviously, and it helps it with that lower speed tier, of course. Overlap-wise, Grass Fairy types, I have to consider a lot of overlap for those guys. We have got like stuff like Shaman and a couple others coming up. Meganium, etc. Lilligant is only one of those with Serene Grace or Solar Rush, so that's nice. Keeps it unique. But yeah, that's Solar Rush for you. Very, very As for Serene Grace, it doesn't seem that great, but it actually has all kinds of awesome moves to abuse with it because of all the buffed moves. There is an incomplete Serene Grace guide. All of the important stuff is on there, but I definitely left off some stuff because I kind of got bored halfway through making it. Similar to the guide I made for like Technician and stuff. I'll definitely update it more officially probably later today or something. I don't know, whenever I feel like it. I kind of can't be bothered to finish it, but I'll finish it eventually. And I'll link it on the ability sheet and all that stuff like the other ones like Technician. But yeah, Serene Grace has awesome stuff. Most importantly, you have stuff like Revelation Dance, which is fairy type. I know it says grass fairy, but in the game files it is listed as a fairy grass purely so you can have that Revelation Dance be fairy type to keep it unique from something like, for example, Blossom, which also has Serene Grace Revelation Dance. And Revelation Dance is awesome because it's 90 base power, stab, which is super reliable and strong. But most importantly, you have a 50% chance to boost your special attack stat. So with Serene Grace, that's a guaranteed special attack boost. It's essentially Fiery Dance. In vanilla, at least, Fiery Dance is 50%. Obviously, in this, it's going to be better. But yeah, 50%, super strong move with Serene Grace. That's a guaranteed special attack boost. As for other moves, you have Seed Flare later on. Seed Flare has a guaranteed chance to drop special defense by -2 with Serene Grace, so that's really powerful. Of course, keep in mind that with Serene Grace, you are losing out on that Solar Rush speed, so you're going to have to run Scarf or Quiver Dance or Blossom Dance or Agility or something else, to boost your speed up. You also have Priority Dual Stab. Basically, every Pokemon in attack has at least one priority move. Usually, they have multiple. In this case, they have Pixie Dust and Leaf Flurry, which are nice. Like I already covered all the good utility stuff. You have tons of other really useful utility, but I'm not going to cover every single little nitty-gritty option because it would take forever. Just know that it has a lot of them. But yeah, what am I trying to say here? Revelation Dance, Seed Flare are the big ones for Serene Grace. Weather Ball also has a guaranteed special attack, special defense drop chance, but obviously you would lose the Solar Rush. But you can still run that in, like, for example, if you just happen to have a Rain Team or a Drizzlemon or whatever, you can get that Water type Weather Ball guaranteed speed F drop. It's pretty cool. Or any other type of Weather Ball with your Weather allies is nice because Weather abilities are much more common now. So it's nice to get that coverage. But yeah, Dazzling Gleam. And so Dazzling Gleam, Signal Beam, and Grass Pledge are all 80 base power moves that have a 50% chance to boost your special attack stat with Serene Grace considered. So those are also really nice for the earlier in the game. Obviously, Revelation Dance is objectively better than Dazzling Gleam, but up until level 45, you'll be running Dazzling Gleam for that purpose. That's really nice. And then otherwise, that's really about it for like the important Serene Grace moves. Otherwise, you just have annoying stuff like special defense drop moves. Like a lot of moves with Serene Grace in this game have a roughly 40 to 60% chance to drop speed F depending on the move with Serene Grace considered. So that's just annoying and obnoxious to deal with. But in general, you're going to be running consistent Serene Grace options. Flinch wise, they don't get any moves that can flinch, so Serene Grace does not factor in there. But yeah, that's about it. Otherwise, other great utility stuff. Magical Leap gives you Spadef boost now. Disarming Voice drops Volt via attacking stats by 1. You have Floral Healing, which is really early on because you get Synthesis via Move Tutor anyways, so I figured why not give it the healing move early, because Floral Healing obviously fits them really well. And that will heal them by 50% now. And that heals by 2/3 in grassy terrain, so you can run like grassy terrain TM early game for like Totem Gumshoes or Hala or something and get that floral healing going. You also have other good utility like Leech Seed, Tickle, Encore for early game. It's got all kinds of awesome stuff. It's really just a good Pokemon. Yeah, like I said, it's unique from the other grass fairies. Sleep is reworked to always last for 2 turns, so Sleep Powder is 85% accurate, only has 2 PP, and it will always last for 2 turns, so it's consistent. It's a lot more skill-based now because you can actually predict when the fuck the Pokemon's going to wake up, and also for you to be able to predict when the Pokemon's going to wake up on the opponent's side. So it's nice. And that means you can get off a guaranteed Quiver Dance. Blossom Dance is objectively better than Quiver Dance. Blossom Dance gives you +1 attack, special attack, and +2 speed, as opposed to Quiver Dance, which only gives +1 special attack and speed now. There's no more special defense boost because a lot more Pokemon have Quiver Dance and it'll be pretty overpowered. Lunar Dance, however, does have the Quiver Dance's old effect, but obviously Lilligant doesn't make sense to learn that. But a lot of Pokemon get that as well. Calm Mind, that also makes Calm Mind a lot more useful, by the way, because Quiver Dance is no longer just better Calm Mind. So yeah, that's pretty cool. You also have Z Purify, which gives you an Omni boost, so that will give you a defense boost as well as a speed boost and special attack and speed F boost. However, you are using up your Z move, and you can only use that once. So Quiver Dance might be still better, but I mean, the good thing about Z Purify is that it does bypass Taunt, but any Z move bypasses Taunt, so you could actually use Z Quiver Dance if you wanted to. Setup in general is nerfed in this hack. Setup, not only to set up moves at lower PP, but also a lot of anti-setup stuff exists in this hack. Not only is there just strong priority moves flying around, for example, Lilligant is weak to First Impression now, which a lot of Pokemon learn via TM now, because Fairy is neutral to Bug, so Lilligant is weak to Bug now, so First Impression is an easy check for it. You can't just set up sweep every single trainer fight. Not to mention a lot of Pokemon have Taunt on their better lead, or just learn taunt in general, and we'll use that on you, as well as priority stuff like heart swap, which Lilligant also gets a priority heart swap with swap stat changes, and topsy-turvy and haze and whirlwind and roar, and all these moves are much more common and buffed and stuff. So yeah, that definitely keeps offensive bullshit in check. But you know, it's still relatively easy to set up on the AI if you can get the right situation going and you use the right moves at the right time and the right items and whatever. You know, it's got all kinds of really fun things it could do. Also very powerful stab moves. I already covered Seed Flare, but you also have stuff like Chloroblast, Eternal Beam, which are recoil moves. Petal Dance obviously is nice. Flare Cannon and Leaf Storm are very powerful 150 base power. All kinds of really good stuff there. So yeah, thank you so much for listening. Hopefully you found this video informative. There's a couple other really cool things that Lilligant can do, but I'm not going to cover every single option because that would take forever. And I try to keep these videos a little bit shorter nowadays. So yeah, I appreciate you listening. Hopefully you enjoyed these buffs and changes for Lilligant. I know I do. They're pretty cool. Yeah. Bye everybody, and lastly, I will say, if you are listening this far into the videos and you're not subscribed to the channel, what are you doing, man? Subscribe to the channel, please. I'm very close to 1K at the time of uploading this. Hopefully you can help me get there. And yeah, thanks so much for the support, everybody, and bye.